We knew there was going to be more legends hidden behind MyFaction, but this day we're going to be looking at 6 additional legends, at least, hidden behind the new mode from WWE 2K22. Not just that, but some released superstars as well, and big reveal of 2 new pack series, 2 new sets of cards coming to the mode, which I could say were a leak, but it's literally been right in front of us from the get-go. Plus, if we get to 1,000 likes when these 2 new sets come out, I will do a huge pack opening for them. The choice and the call is yours. And if you want to see more WWE 2K22 and MyFaction content, some of the best you're going to find on YouTube, then this is the time to hit that big red button, the subscribe one. Comment down below as well. I want to know what was the last card you got in any mode, whether it's a Faction Wars card, whether it's been a My Collection card, maybe you even managed to get through the entirety of Faction Wars and get those diamond cards. And in honor of the Swift Superman who will be leaving the limited time rewards, if you put the word Swift, spelled what is on the screen over there, and I will heart your comment. Why? Because it shows you're listening, and I love that. Anyway, time to get into the first set of cards, Segway. We're starting off with more hidden wrestlers, specifically Farouk from 1998 and the Nation of Domination, who, thanks to this video from Nova Hale on YouTube, has revealed the Farouk attire. Much like The Godfather, Shawn Michaels and Triple H, it would not surprise me to see Farouk within MyFaction. It seems like one of those kinds of cards that is going to show up later down the line, especially as we have confirmation that Classic Rock and $500 Shirt Rock had been found as well, plus Ric Flair 91. On the subject of Ric Flair 91, if you may remember in the very early trailers for WWE 2K22, a scan that took place with Ric Flair inside the scanning equipment. Of course, Ric Flair has now left WWE and has moved on to other projects, but his scan and his model are still in the game. And given that the only place that the older Ric Flair is featured is in MyFaction, to see this in the game, albeit without hair, and I'll be honest with you, it's kind of nightmare inducing, says to me that we should expect to see this later on down the line. Now, personally, it looks like he's just put his boots on, laced up, and is ready to go right now, which at his age, I personally wouldn't suggest would be a good idea. This is actually available on the community creations using the tags what's the status. You'll be able to find this and download this for use, but as a warning, it really is nightmare fuel inducing. Now, modders have been able to attach hair to him, but unfortunately you won't be able to do this in game, so you'll have to deal with nightmare fuel Ric Flair until it's released in either MyFaction or as a downloadable superstar, if they intend to go beyond the current season pass. The next 4 are clumped into one name, which means it can only be one person, the already confirmed Cactus Jack. But of course, Cactus Jack, whilst he is coming to the game, they have not confirmed Mankind, Mick Foley, and Dude Love. Well, these can now be confirmed and are likely to come through MyFaction thanks to these reveals from Nova Hale on YouTube as well. You can find these on community creations. Whilst there is no model at the moment, the clothing is available. The Titantron for Mankind is available, and this is the closest we're going to be able to get to playing as either Mankind, Mick Foley, Dude Love, or Cactus Jack until the DLC or MyFaction updates. Despite some of the superstars being released in 2020, yet still making it into the roster for 2K22, it was a great shame and surprise that the Fiend Bray Wyatt didn't end up in the game. But over the last few days, we have found out more information that shows just how much of an impression his character had on the game before he was removed. There was an incredibly detailed MyRise story, along with a playable backstage Firefly Funhouse, and this was found on Reddit by Hanleys, who posted several screenshots. This would have allowed you to effectively become part of the crazy reality also known as the Firefly Funhouse. Entire scripts have been found, including a storyline that had Dana Brooke become the Fiend. But as this has already been reported, I'm not going to waste your time with this. If you want more information about it, there's going to be a link in the description to the video made by Smack Talks talking about that very issue in full detail. But not only has the Fiend Bray Wyatt's footprints been found all over MyRise, but also over MyFaction. This pack set was found by What's the Status, including the Fiend Bray Wyatt, indicating we would have had access to him in MyFaction as well. Now, the only way to play as the Fiend, unfortunately, is through modding. I think this just goes to show how much of an impact him being released had on the production of 2K22, and was probably a big reason why it was delayed. The last is an, again, very surprising addition of Mark Henry. A Mark Henry card can be found if you zoom in on the My Collection and in-game posters. These are those found on the likes of Proving Grounds and in the pack store or My Collection store. But to be sure of it, I took a screenshot of each section, put it into Photoshop, and then increased the brightness and contrast. Whilst fiddling with those settings, I found a bunch of new cards and, of course, Mark Henry, which I don't think I was supposed to see, but this is all publicly available, which is why this video is coming to you with the information up front. First of all, there are 2 sets of MyFaction cards coming based on the information that is available. The first is a set called Forged, which features cards from Mark Henry, as shown, Danny Burch, Murphy, Io Shirai, Ilya Dragunov, Tamina's old attire, Cameron Grimes, Diesel, Johnny Gargano, and Alexander Wolf, just to name a few. And a second series showing Neon Horizon, including Macho Man Randy Savage, Ultimate Warrior, and Jeff Hardy, with the possibility that there are alternate attires for both Macho Man and Warrior on the way from these cards. So that's going to be it from me. Check out all of those. Let me know what you think in the comments of all those released talent, and let me know what the last card you got from MyFaction was, whether it's a collection card or it's a pack. You tell me. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. I've been SUPERZOMGBBQ, you have been awesome, and I'll see you in the next MyFaction video sometime soon, and no doubt there'll be some other new legends hidden behind the mode. I can't wait to see Twitter. It's gonna be great. Later.
It's so far away, we wait for